Resident Evil 9's DLC just got a massive leak, and honestly, this might change everything. One of the biggest mysteries fans have been talking about is that wedding ring Leon Kennedy has been wearing. People have been asking nonstop who did Leon marry. Is it someone we already know, or is Capcom hiding something huge? Well, now we might finally have some real answers. So, let's break this down. This information comes from a well-known insider, aesthetic gamer, also known as Dusk Golem. Now, before we go any further, this isn't your typical planned leak. According to him, this was actually an accidental slip-up. He explained on Twitter that he had been sitting on this information for a while, and then something unexpected happened. He said, "Thanks to Steve Wonder for bringing this to my attention. There was a slight slip-up somewhere." So basically, something was revealed unintentionally, not from his usual sources, but from something that became public by mistake. And here's the big part. According to Dusk Golem, Ada Wong is very likely going to appear in the Resident Evil 9 DLC. Yeah, Ada Wong. Now, he made it clear that this wasn't something he originally planned to share. He even mentioned that it seemed like an honest mistake, and he doesn't want anyone to get into trouble because of it. But at the same time, the implication is very clear. Ada Wong being part of the DLC is not just a random guess, it's something that accidentally slipped into the public. Now, let's connect this with what another insider said. Steve Wonder, the person who actually noticed this slip up, also talked about it publicly. He mentioned in a previous Drycast official podcast that it's very likely Ada Wong will be part of the Resident Evil 9 DLC. However, he couldn't reveal his source. He straight up said he doesn't want to get into trouble, but he also added something interesting. He said, "You'll find out soon." And that right there is what makes this even more exciting. Because when insiders start saying things like that, it usually means the reveal isn't too far away. Now, let's talk about why this is such a big deal. The last time we properly saw Ada Wong in the main timeline was in Resident Evil 6. Since then, she's been mostly absent from the main story, aside from remakes and smaller appearances. So bringing her back in Resident Evil 9 DLC could mean a lot of things. First, it could finally explain Leon's situation. That wedding ring might not just be a random detail. If Ada is involved, there's a real possibility that Capcom is finally exploring their relationship in a deeper way. Second, Ada's role could completely shift the tone of the DLC. She's always been a mysterious character, sometimes helping, sometimes working against you. So if she's in the DLC, we might be looking at a story full of twists, secrets, and double crosses. And third, this could connect multiple storylines together. Because if Ada shows up, there's a chance the DLC won't just be a side story, it could actually play a major role in setting up future Resident Evil games. Now, here's the important part. Even though Dusk Golem is confident that Ada Wong will appear, that we still don't know what role she's going to play. Is she going to be playable? Is she working with Leon or against him? Is she connected to whatever threat we're dealing with in Resident Evil 9? Right now, we have no details on the story itself. All we know is that Ada is very likely involved. And honestly, that alone is enough to get fans hyped. Now let's talk about the DLC timing. A few weeks ago, Capcom officially confirmed that Resident Evil 9 will be getting additional content. This includes a story expansion, a new mini-game, and a photo mode. We already have some idea about the mini-game. That update is expected to drop around May, but the story expansion, that's a completely different situation. The game's director, Koshi Nakanishi, said that the story DLC is going to take more time. He specifically asked fans to be patient, which clearly means they're still actively working on it. So don't expect the story DLC to drop anytime soon. But here's the interesting part. If Ada Wong is really part of this DLC, it actually makes sense why it's taking longer. Bringing back a major character like her isn't something you just throw together quickly. They probably want to do it right, especially considering how important she is to the Resident Evil storyline. And if this connects to Leon's story, then yeah, this could be one of the biggest DLCs we've seen in the franchise. So right now, we're in that classic Resident Evil situation. We have just enough information to get excited, but not enough to know what's really going on. And that's exactly how Capcom likes it. So yeah, things are getting very interesting. But now I want to hear from you guys. Do you think Ada Wong is really coming back in the Resident Evil 9 DLC? And if she is, what role do you think she's going to play? Also, what do you think about Leon's wedding ring? Do you think it's connected to Ada? Or is Capcom setting up something completely unexpected? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe for more Resident Evil news, updates, and breakdowns. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.